Hey, what's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Welcome back to the channel. I am so extra, right? Welcome back to the channel, everyone. It is your girl, Miss Honey, here for another review. This time we're going to be talking about The Handmaid's Tale. You guys know I am an episode behind. This is going to be episode 8 with a recap also of episode 7. Now let me just tell you real quick why I don't feel bad about skipping an episode 1. I had to do it. I was upside down in work, like literally upside down, barely could catch my breath. And I got a lot of personal stuff going on. But two, it's only like 60 of us watching the show, period. Like, I don't know. I've seen other hand. It's unlike Queen Sugar, right? Across the board, even on OWN's channel here on YouTube, no one's watching Queen Sugar. Like, the numbers are super, super low for everybody, right? But Handmaid's Tale, period, like regular reviewers, you know, everyday reviewers that review Handmaid's Tale, the numbers are abysmal, right? Abysmal. So I didn't feel as panicked, right? Like, we're just going to converse about the show. We're just going to catch up a little bit about the show. And then I think things are going to start to pick up a lot in episode 9. And we're going to talk about why. And so hopefully I will be 3 days out of surgery by then. I'll be back at work. I should be back to my regularly scheduled program, right? As much as I possibly can. Fingers crossed, right? But I digress. Listen, let's talk about episode 7 first. It was all about Serena and June Osborne. You guys know Serena cooked up a very successful plan to get herself and her baby bump out of the Wheelers household. Okay, I don't know what's up with W's, but it's weird. Waterford, Wheeler, like they're really pushing the irony. They are really, really, really pushing the irony on this show, right? Like, it is so blatant. So she does a great job of getting herself and her baby bump out of the Wheelers household, and then getting rid of Ezra. She doesn't kill him, but she disables him. Her and Serena Joy get on the road. Serena Joy is cussing all up and down the road. What the duck? What the duck? What the duck? What the duck are we doing, Serena? What the duck are we doing? And then she goes to pull off a little bit because she wants to have a conversation. And Serena Joy, oh no, she's just driving along and they're arguing and they're talking, but she's also in labor. And June is like, are you kidding me? Are you trying to have a duck and baby on me? I was like, kind of saved your life. Kind of saved your life, Serena. Just take a moment with that. Just come to grips with that. Serena Joy's cramps are so bad that she ends up discharging the weapon, putting a gun in the windshield as she and June are driving. June is like, I've had it with you. I'm done with you. I'm out of here. They get disabled, get off the road. Serena Joy decides she's going to drive, and she ends up ditching the car and wedging it in, and they can't get out. And June is stuck with Serena Joy on the side of the road, and she's in labor. First things first, she takes the gun. Then she finds a place for safety for them, and they're held up in this barn, in this ramshackled barn, where they have sort of this come to Jesus meeting with one another. Really, it's more about June having a come to Jesus meeting with Serena Joy. Serena Joy is in labor, and it's kind of forcing June's hand. She wants to hate her, she wants to kill her, she wants to get rid of her, but what's forcing her hand is that here is a woman in labor. Yes, this woman was your captor and your kidnapper, or, and your torturer. You know what I'm saying? She took your own child and wouldn't give her back to you until you had to swindle her out of it. And basically, she threw your other child that you have been trying to get back for years now and threw it in your face, right? I understand June's hatred for Serena. And I understand why she was pissed off that she was forced to help Serena because of kindness and goodness. Like, why I gotta be kind? Why I gotta be good? Why do I always have to be the one to turn the other cheek? I could feel it for June. I really was feeling it for June. I was also feeling it for Serena Joy. This was the first time someone has explained labor to me in this way, where I was like, oh, I think I know what she talking about. When she was like, it burns. I was like, ooh, that's the tearing. When June was like, I know, it burns. She's done it twice now, I know, it burns. Apparently, all of these things also tie you and knit you even that much more to your baby outside of the gestation period. The labor part is something that is existential. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's some type of out of body experience. I give it up to everybody who's done it, especially those of you all have done it over and over and over and over and over again. Y'all are so much more braver than I ever could be. Really, honestly. Okay. Shout out to my mom who gave birth to 5 children. Like, what was she thinking? I mean, I would have stopped after me, but I'm grateful. I'm a terrible sister. So anyway, and they have this tug of war where Serena Joy is still being an ingrate and she's still being entitled, and June is storming off and then storming back, and then she done got the car from being wedged. She's unwedged the vehicle and she's decided she's gonna drive off, and tarnation, she's got to think about the baby, right? Like, this also, it kind of reminded me of my community, of my people, right? Like, it's no reason why we shouldn't hate those who have mistreated us and oppressed us and oppressed our ancestors, and in such horribly terrible, tragic manner, right? They have been deplorable to us, but it's just something in us that will not let us fully cut them off, fully hate them. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna help, right? We may go into their community and receive no help, be all on our own. They can be dropped into our community and won't be mistreated. Now, they might be joned out. Okay, they may be joned out and bullied slightly, but I promise you, you will be taken care of. You will be well fed, and somebody big mama gonna tell y'all to leave that boy alone. Leave that white boy alone. You know what I'm saying? So I could relate. I could relate to having these feelings, justifiably so, but still feeling like, you know what, I got to do what's right. I feel compelled to do what's right. It made June mad at Serena, but it also made her mad at herself because she had her anger at this fevered pitch. It was in the perfect place to be executed. But just like when she saw Serena Joy outside of that building with Ezra getting in the car and she was gonna shoot her, but she couldn't shoot her because she saw that baby bump. This is who you are. You get what I'm saying? You've been mistreated by killers, right? You've been mistreated by abusers and torturers and and predators, and perverts and all this stuff. But you are not those things. You are none of those things, right? They have hurt you and rendered you bare, especially by taking Hannah banana. But still, you have not become them. And I know you're angry with yourself, June, but you should be proud. You should be proud. Okay? Because nobody would have blamed you. Nobody would have blamed you if you had have turned into them and devoured them wholly, right? Huh? We now let Fred go. Child, don't nobody care about Fred. Or Fred is dead. Okay? Let me see what else. Anyway, they have this, like I said, these existential moments and these come to who's Jesus moments, and it seems like they've come to an understanding, right? She's had the baby, and June has forgiven her, and June gets her packed up and stacked up, and she wants to be left there. She don't want to go back. She don't want to go to the hospital. She want to be left there, and she knows that they're trying to take her baby. That the Wheelers are trying to take her baby. I just don't understand why she wasn't just a little bit, especially after she had gotten June's forgiveness. Why wasn't she just a little bit more graphic about what was going on over there at the Wheelers? I mean, she could have made something up. She could have made something horrible up, right? And said, listen, you can drop me off at the hospital, but take my baby. She could have done all of the above. She could have. But instead, she was, I don't know if it was privilege. You guys tell me what you think. Was it entitlement? You know what I'm saying? What made her think she was going to go to the hospital and she was going to be fine and she was going to be okay? Well, why did she feel that way? I didn't understand that. You had such a sense of dread and terror, but at the same time, I don't know. It could have been the hormones. Maybe she was, I don't know. I don't know why she thought she was going to be safe in the hospital. June didn't have her in the hospital, 45 minutes, boo, before the peoples was coming in there, stomping in there, and they told her they was taking her to a detention facility, a real detention facility, not that plush, lush, executive penthouse suite that Tuello had her in where she was doing yoga, you know what I'm saying, and arts and crafts and whatnot, you know what I'm saying, afternoon movies and tea with the queen and all these types of things. She was in a for real detention center, boo, and they say they didn't have no baby facilities, so she had to send her baby back over there to the Wheelers. I would have said, no, you send my baby over there to June. She didn't have no right to tell the people where she wanted her baby to go. Anyway, Luke was happy about it. He was like, the irony. She loses her baby. Serves her right. I was like, what's going on with Luke? Even in episode 8. That's how episode 7 ends, right? She's screaming for June to come help her. Come help her, come help her. But June and Luke go on. Now, June hears her screaming and June feels her pain. But she's trying to, she is the one that led the I Hate Serena parade. And now that everybody's on board with that parade, she's not on board with it anymore. She's like, you know what, I'm fine. I just don't care if I never see again. It don't even matter. Like, whatever. Anyway, Serena Joy calling their phone. This episode 8 now. Serena Joy calling their phone back to back. And I tell you, Luke is like, when is she going to understand that she is not our friend and we don't care and woo, 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 woo. I was like, Luke, where you get all this from, Luke? Where this been all these many years, right? And Serena, that's all she can think about is Hannah. That is all she can think about is Hannah. Okay. Meanwhile, we see Commander Lawrence. Now he in charge of the boys over there in Gilead, and he's going forward with New Bethlehem. And it is as Stepford as they come. Every house is exactly the same way, the exact same light gray, white color. It's the same style home. I was like, what makes people move somewhere that in a community that is just all the same? Who does that? Who does that? You know what I'm saying? Maybe if you came from a world of chaos, if something being uniform and all the same kind of gives you a sense of peace. I don't know. But it's just, it's something about it. It's just weird. It's like the colors that they wear. the uniform that they put on. Like, it's just odd. So he's pushing New Bethlehem. You know, Putnam was against it, but Putnam made the mistake of raping Esther. And when he raped Esther, it was an opportunity for Lawrence to get rid of him and continue to push New Bethlehem. Right? You say you against New Bethlehem? Oh, okay, we'll see. You know, put you. It's not a gun sound. Bang. And just like that, New Bethlehem is in place. I'm talking about where you get all these houses from. I thought it was like a shortage in the land. Like, anyway. So, he's walking with the boys, you know, all looking over all that he surveys, and he's telling them this is what it's gonna be. This is the opportunity for Gilead to change their reputation and get rid of Americans altogether. Gileadians are gonna have a new reputation, and we've been able to do things no one else has been able to do, and that's produce babies and children and whoop 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 whoop. I don't know what they got going on in Canada, but it do seem like a whole lot of humans is over there. Where's the babies and stuff? I mean, Gilead, y'all the only people that having babies all across the world, including Africa. Really? I doubt it. Anywho, this is what they selling, child. New Bethlehem is going to be a different type of Gilead, right? Families, they're going to try to bring the families from over in Canada and bring them over there to Gilead, the ones that have escaped. It's people escaping and trying to get out of there, clawing and scratching, trying to get out of there. It's making Gilead look bad. There's one guy who's not quite on board. He was like, He pushed back. Commander Putnam kind of addressed his concerns. It was all very civil. And he was like, yeah, I still have a vote. He was like, yes, you do. And Nick was standing there and was like, yeah. And he said, you know, we want to make sure that we are not something about doing something against the rules or play by the rules or something. Nick said, yeah, Commander Putnam didn't play by the rules. He was looking right at that guy. That guy was like, oh. And so Lawrence said, well, you know, you guys think it over. Let me know. Goes to walk off with Nick. And the guy was like, Commander Lawrence. You know what? I think I heard Putnam in my ear. It does really sound like a great program. Sign me up. And, you know, forgive me. Commander Lawrence said, okay, consider yourself forgiven, right? Like, don't make that mistake again. Okay? Kaboom. Kaboom, right? It can be yours too. You too can have a kaboom to the head, right? We can put a front window right in between your eyeballs if you want it, okay? A big old front room window. And so he's on his way to Canada. Now he's talking to families about moving back to Gilead, but moving into New Bethlehem, right? And also he goes to see June, and he talks to June about moving into New Bethlehem. And she says, well, can you get Hannah? He said, no, but I can get Hannah as a new wife stationed in New Bethlehem. And that way you can keep an eye on her there. And she was like, I'm married. Even if you bring her here and she married, she's going to be raped every night by an old man. Right? And he is like, yeah, but you'll be near her. This is what I'm saying. And also in episode 8, Commander Lawrence makes like 3 off-cuff, awkward, random, sexual. It was just weird. Once he talking to the guys about, or somebody about grooming, not in a sexual way, of course, he says. And then a couple of other times he makes these jokes. I was just like, where is this going with him? You know, he's a weird bird, right? Because I remember telling somebody in the comments that I, for some reason, remember Commander Lawrence being gay. And I thought his wife was his beard and he was her beard, vice versa, right? Um, I maybe not, I don't remember that correctly, but he's oddly asexual, right? Oddly asexual, but still sexual. It's like he abhors the um the things that go on in terms of crimes against women and their bodies. At the same time, he seems to be oddly immune to it, um to its existence. You get what I'm saying? Y'all let me know. Put it down below. Anyway, she is like, I'm not going back there. And, he was like, well, I can't get her out, but I can bring you closer to her. Just think about it. And she goes back and she talks to Luke about it. And Luke was like, I'm not going back there. And Nicole's not going back there. And I think he's smart for not sending Nicole back there. It's one thing for you guys to make the choice, or one of you guys to make the choice to go, but it's a completely different thing for y'all to put her back there, knowing she could possibly end up in wife school one day, or as a handmaid. You get what I'm saying? Like, why would you do that to your child? And I know good and well Moira ain't going, so who gonna babysit? Luke gonna go to work. Well, what Luke gonna do? He gonna be a commander? Like, I mean, I just I didn't understand. June didn't ask no questions for herself. Like, what's the plan? I mean, because still, June is childbearing age. You get what I'm saying? She's still able to bear children. Is she going to be expected to go back to work bearing children? I'm just wondering. Hannah's going to be childbearing age. Is she expected to go back to work? I mean, to go to work being a childbearer, a breeder? I'm just wondering. I didn't hear her ask any of those questions, and I felt like those questions should have been asked before she would even broach the subject with Luke. At the same time, I feel June's desperation, and she has a very ugly argument with Luke, but not before they talk to Tuello. They talk to Tuello and they tell him what Commander Lawrence has presented. And he was like, don't do that. Do not go back. And he lets them in on it. Of course, June twisted his arm. He lets them in on it that they're going to do a raid over in Gilead. And it's all covert. Whoop, 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 whoop. Not really. If you have told June, it is not. And so, later on, after she basically cusses him out because she doesn't feel like she feels like she has to continue to entertain Commander Lawrence's suggestion because Tuello is not giving her viable options to do something else, right? Like, she won't have to go back to New Bethlehem. She won't have to go to New Bethlehem if he would just go get her baby, right? Like, it's just like, y'all are not helping. Basically, neither one of y'all helping duck you both, okay? And so, in the meantime, before she argues with Luke, she gets a package, right? She outside gardening in the dark. It's she's gotten in the habit of being in the dark. I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe y'all can shed some light on that for me. Put it down below. And he says, you got a package. The package turns out to be a DVD, and that DVD is of Hannah, and someone's down below on the ground, and they're zoomed into her walking with her class, her regimen, whatever they call it, down the hallway. And she stops for a minute and she looks and she sees someone. She looks like she sees someone that she knows filming her. And then the girl behind her pushes her and she goes on. And June wants him to play it again. And he does. And they're just like, so she is, this is just exciting. It not exciting. This is inciting more anger in her. You get what I'm saying? Like, she is fired up. We're gonna go. He's like, we're not going back. we're not going there. We're not going there. It's not safe. And she was like, well, you know what? I don't want to go if you don't go with me, but I have to go. I want you and Nicole. He was like, Nicole is definitely not going. I was like, okay, Luke, you better speak up. She was like, you know what? Forget it. You know what? Do what you've done for the last 7 years. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And he was like, oh. Now, y'all know Serena told him the same thing. So this really hurts him. And he was like, it was like the laughter of the man. He was like, we're never going to be good enough for you, are we? Listen, no. You're not a mother. You can't understand. I'm telling you. June was being unreasonable, right? She was being hurtful. She immediately apologized. She did. She immediately apologized. But at the same, and she had a breakdown. She said, I left her. I abandoned her. I was supposed to bring her out of there, and I abandoned her. I left her. I promised her I would not leave her, and I left her. And he hugs June up and loves her up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel June. I do. I feel June. But don't drag Luke in it. And don't drag Nicole in it. Somebody got to rear Nicole. If you go over there and get mollywopped unto death, somebody got to rear Nicole. See, I feel like you can do this, June, if you want to do this. You know what I'm saying? If you want to go out bang, bang style, kamikaze, I think that's your right to do. You get what I'm saying? I can't even fault you for that because I don't have a child in Gilead. You do. And you know what's in store for your baby. So, yeah, if you want to go out in a blaze of glory and take a few people with you and possibly free your daughter, that's a mother's sacrifice. And I can't deny you that. I can't deny you that. At the same time, quit trying to get Luke to go. You know Luke ain't built for that. And don't you take your baby girl over there either. Because you know women are property. You know it. You know, if you want to go over there to Bethlehem and take your chance, baby, with your uterus and your life, you go ahead on and do it. Go ahead on and do it. But it feels wrong. And I'll tell you why. Now, at first I thought, is Nick trying to get Nicole back? Are they setting June up? This seems like a setup. Right? But then I heard Commander Lawrence tell Nick that he could raise his 2 kids together. So the wife must be pregnant. Or they done got a handmaid pregnant. I don't know, child. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure. Nick didn't seem like he wasn't, he was still straddling that line. When Commander Lawrence said, I'm gonna need a commander here, he said, interesting proposition. He wasn't yay or he wasn't nay, right? Now, so I'm starting to think, and he said, well, you can have the 2 women that you love and their siblings all here in one place. I was like, okay, so the wife Rose must really be pregnant. I mean, I don't know how long June plan on living around there with sneaking around with Nick. You know how Nick is. You and Nick relationship is, child. You're gonna have Luke over here in Canada, and they said people can come and go out of New Bethlehem. How long you think before Rose will want to get rid of you, June? Like, it's just a bad situation altogether for her to try to put the family in. But she's considering it because of Hannah. Well, they take the video that they've been given, the CD-ROM, and they give it to Tuello. And Tuello has taken the information, and they were able to locate where Hannah was just by seeing that video. Probably the building, the structure of the building. They had a good idea of what that looked like, size of the building. They probably sent drones out and that type of thing. And that might be how they found it, but they were able to find it. And it's crazy because things are getting really, 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 really hectic in Canada right now. The Canadians do not want the Americans there anymore. They don't want them. They're like refugees to the Canadians. They were fine at first, but now they treat them like we treat immigrants over here. Well, that come over the border, not the ones that come from Kazakhstan and Ukraine. Anywho, so so it's crazy there. It's crazy there because people are picking it in front of their house, and he wants her to pick up and move. Luke does. He said, let's move to Europe. Or she was like, I'm not leaving Hannah. I was like, Luke, what are you thinking? What were you thinking, Luke? Meanwhile, listen, Serena has got a hard way to go. Okay, she in there like old sad sack baby. She get facing the wall, and she got on tan, and the pump is on her breast, and it's just going. And come Miss Wheeler, and Miss Wheeler done brought her exactly two. It's the most ridiculous. Exactly 2 bottles. Now maybe she got 15 because Noah is a month old now, so she been in there for a minute, right? And June been dodging her calls for a minute. Okay, and she done brought 2 empty bottles, and she giving Miss Wheeler 2 empty bottles, and Miss Wheeler let her know that the baby is fussy and crying all the time, and she's trying to cry it out method. And Serena's like, have you tried hugging the baby? Have you tried swaddling the baby? You know what I'm saying? Being confident to the baby. She was like, that's not how cry it out works. And so Serena said he's a month old. He doesn't cry it out. You have to give the baby comfort. And she said, you're a terrible mom, Serena, basically. And I know what I'm doing, even though I've never given birth to a child. And I'm mentally unstable. I'm cracked in the head, right? I know more than you do, ma'am. Okay, this lady has some mental health issues, right? And I got a feeling if Noah, you know what I'm saying, don't fully cooperate for her, I got a feeling she would get rid of Noah. She would get rid of Noah and try for another baby. And if that baby didn't cooperate, she probably would get rid of that baby and just until she found a baby that could sleep through the night and put up with her crazy. I do believe that. Okay, Mrs. Wheeler is very, very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. Okay, so Commander Lawrence, why he there go see Serena too. And he tells Serena, he said, listen, here are your options. Not getting you out of here. And she was like, took you long enough. When he showed up, he was like, that is weird. Weird how ungrateful you are. She was like, listen, when can you have me out of here? He was like, I'm working on that. That's going to happen shortly. And she was like, okay, where am I going to be? And he was like, at the Wheelers. You need to go back to the Wheelers, and you need to nurse that baby. Okay, that's the only reason they taking you back, because that baby need to be nursed, and we scared Miss Wheeler gon' do something she shouldn't be doing with the baby if we don't get this baby to settle down. And she was like, I am not going back there. You are nuts. They tried to steal my baby, and I am not a handmaid. He was like, listen, I don't know if you smell the irony of this cooking. Okay, but it is cooking. It's boiling over in the pot right now, boo. You are a handmaid. You are a handmaid. Okay. And she's devastated. She is devastated. She is like, I absolutely am not going back. So finally, June, everything that's going on with June, she decides goes to see her. She talked to everybody and got everybody's advice. She talked to Rita. Rita was Waterford's old Martha. And Rita said she would never go back there. She said, but I don't have a child there. She said, my son is deceased and passed on, but if I had an opportunity to see him again, I'd do anything. I'd go, right? And so June just, she wasn't sure. Go, don't go. Everybody had very viable points, right? Everybody. Okay, and she was torn, so now she going to see Serena, and she run it by Serena, and Serena was like, my finger has not been on the pulse of Gilead, and I don't know when, child. She said, but I don't know if I would trust it or not. I'm not sure. He's been working on New Bethlehem for a while, and he's always gotten it rejected, and I'm sorry I can't help you, but maybe you can help me. I need your help getting my son back. I need your help getting out of here. And June was like, we not friends. We are not friends. She said, but you forgave me. We bonded in the barn. And June was like, I turned the other cheek. I did forgive you, but I'm not your friend. I don't like you at all. At all. At all. And every now and then when the wind blows, I would like to stab you several times. And she told her, she said, what you gonna do is put your big girl panties on. And you gonna go in that house. And she said, how do I stay in the house with my son's kidnappers? And June said, are you kidding me? Are you serious right now? Again, she's oblivious. She is completely oblivious. But she gonna learn. June said, I'm gonna tell you what you're gonna do. You're gonna go in that house, you're gonna bite the bullet. You're gonna put your big girl panties on, okay? And you're gonna nurse your son, and you're gonna play your part. And you, every moment that you have to plot against them and bust Mr. upside his head and worry about heaven later and take your son and run off into the sunset, that's what you gonna do. And then she said, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. She said, you're gonna do it. You're gonna do it because you want to be with your son. You're gonna do it. Okay? That was it. Okay, next thing we know, Serena is being escorted in, baby, to the Wheelers. And Miss Wheeler standing there like she could have cracked a diamond with her teeth. Her jaw was so tight. Okay? Jaw was tight. And Mr. Wheeler was standing there like, I am gonna lose it. Like, he don't want to deal with none of this ugliness. I mean, he kind of give me down low tease, but we gonna see, right? Of course, she tested Serena at the gate. Serena said, I'm sorry. What I did was wrong. It was brash. I take full responsibility. It was my fault. I should not have done that. And I am sorry for all the pain I caused you all. And Miss Wheeler said, you do know that you are not fit to be a mother. You do know that you are not a fit mother. And Serena was like, I am a fit mother. I think that I will be fine. And she says, no, you're a terrible mom. And she, Serena was clenching her fist, like biting it, biting her tongue so she wouldn't say anything, child. And so finally she said, oh, praise be. And Miss Wheeler was like, praise be. And so she, on her way up the steps, she hear the baby crying. Now, I've heard some women say that when they hear their baby crying, their milk start pumping, right? Like they start leaking a little bit. So as soon as she heard that baby, it was like, oh. She went up them stairs, two at a time. She get there to the door, and the Martha right there behind her, and she said, I'm sorry. Before she opened up, she said, may I? And the Martha said, yes. She goes inside the nanny there, and the nanny say, oh, we've been waiting on you. And little Noah is like, is that my nipple? I want my nipple. And she gets the baby. She, can I hold him? And the nanny said, well, of course. And she's, I love you. And Noah is like, I need a nipple. And she sat down and she swaddled little Noah and she kissed his forehead and she gave him her breast. You finna see today. I can't wait for Commander Wheeler, okay? Because she said now Noah is a month old. And ain't it 6 weeks out before you can, you know what I'm saying? So that means she already did 4 weeks. In 2 more weeks, he gonna be looking to knock on her door. So I want to see what she gonna do when Commander Wheeler comes in there and wants to penetrate. I want to see what she gonna do when Mrs. Wheeler holds her down while Commander Wheeler penetrates. I want to see. I don't want that to happen to her, but I just want her to really fully grasp. And I think that's why they're going through this process. Okay, because Tuello hasn't been to see her at all. Serena. So I'm just wondering. She's on her own. And I think the writing purposely has put Serena on her own so that she has to go through this. So that she can see and so that she can finally lose that last little bit of remnants of entitlement and privilege that she's been showing. Even up to this episode, even after having been saved, even after having given birth, even after having had her baby taken. Right? She still got a measure of entitlement. And this episode 9, I believe, gonna bring her out of it real good. Like, Tuello tells June that they're gonna go in and they're gonna get Hannah. She goes back home and celebratorily she tells Luke and she tells Moira they're getting Hannah. They're gonna bring Hannah home. They're getting Hannah. Something tells me it's not gonna work out quite that way for her. If she gets Hannah Banana back now, what else is there for June to do? What else is there for June to do? Right? There's got to be some catalyst that brings the Serena Joy character and the June character in place together as battle angels, right? To go up against Gilead. How is this going to affect her relationship with Commander Lawrence, or the lack thereof, or with Nick, or the lack thereof, right? She's going to have to go to war, right? Y'all tell me what y'all think. What did y'all think of episode 8? I think it was called Motherland. Let me know. Y'all put it down below. Listen, until next time, honeybees. I holla.